think we're live there. Huku kwingine hatutaenda live, we just record. Yeah, I'm having some little hiccups, but we are ready to go. We are ready to go. As I believe we are we currently live on YouTube? Yes, we are live on YouTube, guys, and also recording short form content for TikTok and Reels and all that. So chanianzishe presentation yangu sasa. Hope it's everything iko sawa. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me on this live stream. I go by the name of Benjamin Kiprotich Serone, aka DJ Nairobi. I am a recording artist, a performing artist, a stand-up comedian, a creative. I do my own videos. I DJ, I produce, I am the CEO and founder for New Africa Pamoja Foundation that was founded in 2020. I'll be talking more about that. But today I really want to address a very important issue that I feel we should not be even having this issue in 2026, but we need to have this conversation. So this is in relation to the disbandment, replacement, and investigation of Kenya's CMOs. This petition is a collective call for transparency, accountability, and a fair royalty system that protects Kenyan music, culture, and the livelihood of our creatives and future generations. Kenyan musicians, producers, and rights holders have contributed to this industry for decades, yet many still struggle to earn from their work due to opaque systems and long-standing mismanagement. We demand total disbandment, replacement, and an independent public commission of inquiry into the Kenya's collective management organizations. This process must audit finances, review governance, clarify licensing, and establish modern data-driven royalty systems. Together, we can rebuild trust, restore dignity, and create a sustainable music industry that works for all. Yes, so I will be having this PDF available for your download, so you can just go through this video with me as I address some of these issues that I feel are very important and why we need to have this disbandment, replacement, and investigation of Kenya CMOs. Okay, so let us just proceed. We need to begin this story at some point. So when was Kenya born? So we're going to start this story in 1963. Kenya became a republic in 1963, marking the end of colonial rule and the transfer of power to its people. Along with independence came inherited systems, including the early structures of the music industry. At the time, music production was analog, expensive, and highly centralized, with access limited to a few professional studios such as High Fidelity Studios and Equator Sound Studios. Because of these limitations, musicians had to record and perform music live, often working in groups. This led to a strong culture of bands and a collective music making, which shaped the sound and the identity of Kenya early music industry. So the country in itself became a republic in 1963, but the people were there, the music was there. There are rumors that I've heard in my research for this specific issue that back in the day we even had promoters crossing Congo to bring musicians to East Africa. So that music industry was already existing. And a lot of the times, as you will see, the production, how the music was made, can guide how the music reaches the people. So that is the beginning of this story. So we need to also understand one of the concerns that we have raised is a lot of the structures that we follow is from the colonial government. A lot of our infrastructure, our constitution, then a lot of that came from the colonial government. If you look at this picture, this is our first president. Look at the audience. Utaona wazungu, there's an Asian man, there's an Indian man. There was that idea of representing Kenya. But you can see there's like a boundary there, and the back majority of the Kenyans. And there's some white people in the crowd. Like, this was a very important period of history, yes. So these are some of the artists that particular time. This is 1963. We had Daudi Kabaka, Twisty. That's a very interesting sound. Fundi Konde. There's a man called George. And honorable mentions that I could say would be like someone like Kelly Brown. You know, unique musicians who try to put our music out there and who are purists, people who believe in creating the art, like hiyo kitu mtu anajua. So these are some of the examples. Let us talk about the music industry globally. When did that term ilianza lini? And we're going to say the global music industry began in the late 19th and the 20th century with the invention of the sound recording technologies like the phonograph. This is the kinanda. Before this, music existed only through live performances similar to post-independence Kenya. Companies like Columbia Records, EMI were among the first record, manufacture and distribute music on physical format like vinyl records. At this stage, the industry was highly centralized, controlled by a few powerful companies, expensive to access. Recording equipment and production was very costly. Analog music was recorded with very little editing. Artists dependent on label. Musicians relied on companies for recording, promotion, and distributions. Artists often recorded in one take using live bands because editing tools did not exist at that particular time. And if you look at the image that I've put over there, that's the Grammy and that's the phonograph. So if you can just see the writing on the wall, is that the music industry came to existence for the sale of what is called a record. That's why you'll hear terms like the recording company, the recording academy, you'll hear record labels, you'll hear Caliph Records. That term record is derived from this kinanda, and the shape of that first one is the same shape as the Grammy. So there's a connection when it comes to the term, the record. So that is when we can say the music industry began globally. But in Africa, music existed, and in other parts of the world, music existed heavily, and it wasn't just music as we see it. The music was there, the people were there. So these are some of the equipments that you could see that were being used at that particular time. Most of it was very bulky, most of it was very big, and a lot of these studios were owned by white families that had access to purchase these things. And a lot of our music, you can see, is derived from the Western influence, American influence. The music business itself is directly derived from the American music industry. Other industries like the UK, European countries, and now African industry have lifted a lot of the aspects, the ideas of top charting, the ideas, and what we are gonna talk about in terms of the record label and the record sales. So some of the Kenyan record labels at this particular time would be East Africa Sound Studios, East African Records Limited, this was in Nairobi, Kenya, Equator Sound Studios, Nairobi, Kenya, Associated Sounds Limited, ASL, and the Muzuri Records, that was in Mombasa. So it's clearly the music industry was there. This guy is in this bike, looks so cool, man. Like, there's that. If you look at it from that point, you'll see an artist who wants to patch, who wants to talk a block. So there were musicians at that particular time. Now let's talk about something very important that I want you to understand, and this is the master. So what is a master? You might hear this word being thrown around a lot, and let's talk about what is a master. So a music master, or a master recording, is the original final version of the song from which all copies are made for distribution and consumption. This is the version that gets uploaded like Spotify, YouTube, duplicated for CDs, downloads, and streaming, licensed for use in films, art, and other medias. Ownership of the master recording often held by the record label. Sometimes the artist determines who earns revenue from the song's usage. So the one thing that I want you to understand kuanzia saa hii ni mziki ya Kenya ama mziki generally haifai kuwa consumed. Hii amesema nini hapo? Made for distribution and consumption. Consumption is the aspect of the song being played from its beginning to the end, or at some point of the song. And we're going to talk about that. So the original final version, think about it this way. If Beyonce anaenda kurekod, aende asimame mbele ya microphone, arekod, iingie kwa computer, editiwe, ikuwe rendered. That final render, that is the master. Whoever makes that happen controls that. And now replace Beyonce and put any artist there. when they go to record. Once we go with this story, you'll understand where we're going with this, but I really want you to understand that the aspect of the master. Now, when you talk about the master, you have to talk about the master rights. Why it matters. Ownership equals control equals revenue. Determines who earns from streams, sales, and sync licensing, who can hold master rights. These are record labels. Usually the master controls revenue and the licensing. So if the record label be like, we like your singing, we're going to give you this amount of money, go and record the song. So all the songs you're recording, depending on now the contract that you have. And this is now also, we have to look at it from the timing. Like, remember 1963, who owned this, who owned that. So independent artists, majority of East African artists are independent. A few are been signed under very opaque or contracts that are not very well defined, and that's something that we can also talk about a bit later. Producers may own a percentage and royalties. Collaborating artists share ownership based on agreements. Distributors, aggregators distribute music, usually no ownership, but some get a split from the revenue collected. So in any issue that you may have in terms of dispute when it comes to music, these are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions you should always ask yourself. Yeah, who wrote the song? Whose melody is it? Is it the same guy who wrote the song? Is it the same guy, or someone came and said, and then you went and say, yeah. So the melody and the lyrics are a bit different, but they all comprise of songwriting. Beat ni ya nani? Does the beat have samples? Are those samples cleared? Does the beat have original loops? Is it your own creation? Beat ni ya nani? Umeona producer akiundeo beat, by the way? Ama amekuletea beats. So there's a lot of questions that comes around that. Studio ni ya nani? Muna rekodi hiyo ngoma wapi? Is it a registered organization? And the most important question is, who owns the equipment? So I want you to remember these questions. Yeah? Who wrote the songs? Who's the melody? Beat ni ya nani? Studio ni ya nani? Na equipment is a nani? Once you understand that, then the idea who can all masterize the record label, because they told you to go to the studio, they facilitated it, they actually, and that's something that it becomes a very big issue, because paying of rent, putting artists in a house, does that amount to control of the revenue? Then you kunywa maji so that haikuwa niko ni kitu kubwa tunaongelelea. So independent artist, full ownership and revenue, that's a path that I have taken. That's a path that many artists have taken, and it's a path that can get you burned out. But in the modern age of an artist, this could be the last remaining. And I also feel like the independent artist is soon in Kenya going to be the record label, because they're slowly building up their muscle within the region, and we're going to address a lot of the issues that come with that. So the producers, who's making the beats, alitumia loops za nani, alitumia beat ya best yake, ama ni vitu ni zake. So right now, if you with the AI and stuff, this can become a very big problem. Collaboration artists, kuna boy wako unatembeanga naye kila time kwa studio, is a collaborating artist, akikwambia imba hivi. How do you ensure that the master rights zinaweza kuwa distributed hapo? Aggregators na distributor, mkiweka kwa Spotify and all that, how is the music reaching the people? So let's talk about another very important aspect here, which is the ISRC. This is the tracking of the master recording. The International Standard Recording Code, ISRC, is a unique identification code assigned for every master recording, allowing it to be tracked globally across digital platforms, broadcast, and physical formats. It acts as a digital fingerprint, ensuring that each time a song plays on a platform like Spotify or YouTube, the usage is recorded and correct right holders can be paid. The ISRC system was developed in 1986 by the International Organization of Standardization, ISO, and has since become the global standard for identifying sound recordings. Hear what they have said up mwisho? Sound. They just didn't say music, they said sounds recording. So the music aspect is really evolving to include different forms of sound that require this code to be part of that sound recording. So we're going to talk about something very important for purposes of this presentation, which is community music. Music was never seen commercially. This is a disadvantage to the artist. Roots in community. Music thrived in churches, villages, gatherings, local group, clubs, schools. Songs shared freely, often created collectively by the community. Performances were live, focusing on storytelling, collaboration, cultural expression, rather than commercial profit. Transition to recording and commercial use. Recording technology arrived later, capturing music for commercial distribution. Once recorded, the master recording became central. Whoever controlled it would control revenue and licensing, exploitation of artists. Many pioneering artists had little control over their work once it was recorded. They were often unpaid, uncredited, while labels and producers captured the financial benefits. So, remember, even an uncredited song, a badly credited song is a credited song. Remember that. So when we come back to this period of time, they didn't own this equipment. They were lucky. Some of them were signed, some of them, there's this aspect. And I'll use an example of how music in Kenya is communally seen. A song like this one. Hey Mungu nguvu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, akiwe ngao na mlinzi, na tukae na undugu, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi. Those are lyrics. Who wrote those lyrics? Yeah? Hiyo ngoma hakuna mtu hawezi imba. We call it the national anthem, but those are lyrics. That's a melody. There are drums to that song. If I just decide to record those lyrics, that will not be, I'll not be the copyright holder. It's even been translated to, oh God of all creation, bless this our land and nation. Justice be our shield and defender. May we dwell in unity, peace and liberty. Plenty be found within our borders. That's in English. That's a translation. There's someone who wrote those lyrics. Have they been credited? Music inakwanga imejulikana communally. Song kama hakuna Mungu kama wewe Yawe, anaweza ge. Music thrived in churches. This is this time, bro. The beginning. Watu walikuwa naimba tu. There are songs like Wina So a lot of the disputes that is of my time was songs that zilikuwa zao. Zilikuwa zinajulikana na kila mtu. You get me? So your culture ilianzanga hapo. Community ilikuwa inajuanga mziki si ni kuimba tu. Kuimba bro. Wewe simama utuimbie. Like there's that aspect. They don't see where the transaction happened. They don't see where it ceases from being a communal thing to a master recording, so that the master rights can be there, so that I can track my song, so that you can consume the music. Unaona? Music yetu iko generally received like that. There's so many songs. And I thought about the times in this presentation I will sing. And there's this song when I was a child, yeah? That, and I'm talking about primary. Because in primary, kulikuanga kitu inaitwa PPI. PPI was a program that would come on Fridays and people would sing. Hapo mbele, kwa naive tu. Most of the girls would sing a lot hapo mbele. I wanted to actually sing because I was like, I love singing, I love music. And I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. So nakumbuka PPI. And there was a song. And this is a challenge now. There are two people that I know might know this song. Watu walisomea Machakos Primary. Kuna ingoma watu walikuwa naimba PPI. Na I know, sijui kama Masimasika alisomea Machakos Primary. I don't know why I keep thinking. I thought about it and I was like, Masimasika, mimi nilikuwa namuona hivi. So, alikuwa mkubwa. Na mimi nilikuwa mdogo. So, the way I picture it, I see her akiwa mkubwa. So, unafanya primary watu usimama class 1, class 2, class hivi. So I can remember seeing her like this, her and another girl called Leah, and they would sing this song. And if they know this song, they'll finish the lyrics. So it was a Christian song because I started in the church. I started as a gospel artist in church, your time, PPI. Like I loved. That's what some of the influences of my early music, and this was the song. Like kama zimasiku unajua hii song imalizie. Kwenye am I there among your people? Am I there among your flock? Will I go? Will I stay together with you? Oh no, no, to R&B-ish. Am I there among your people? Am I there among your flock? Will I go? And now the verses, the part where I want her to finish, the verses would go like, oh God, I was a Malizia. Now, who wrote those songs? Who wrote those lyrics? Like if I decide to right now go sing that song, those are not my lyrics, bruv. But we're going to find out. Out of this, we can be able to find out. And let us now talk about now what I call the separation. The separation between the people and the artist. The people wao wanajua mziki si mziki, simama utuimbie. Like tuko hapa kanisani, tuko na mwimbaji mwenzetu, njoo utuimbie. Like that's how I see the people seeing the music. So msanii, na ukiangalia hata saa ingine utasikia sasa kusema hapa Kenya, sasa kwangi wametambua usanii. You'll hear people say that. And it comes from that. Kunako, there are so many aspects, but this is one of them. This is one of them. The people hawaoni venye hii ni mboka kwako. And we're going to talk about all the different avenues that an artist is supposed to make money. Because hatufai kuongea mbaya mbele ya customers, but at this particular time we have to educate the people. And that's why we are bringing in the people in this petition, the people versus the artist. Let us talk about how Kenyans experience music from 1963. So 1963 to the 70s, this is live radio and community era, where music was heard live. This was through live bands, social gatherings, bars, radio stations, public events, churches, devices, radio sets, live instruments, watu wangekuwa wanaimba mtaani. Experience was communal and event-based. Gatherings, people gathered to listen together. They would sing together in the farms. They would sing together, and a lot of the reason why you even see even a lot of these slave movies, you see the slaves singing, because that came from Africa. Africans can sing. Cha kutumaini sina, ila damu yake Bwana, sina wema wa kutosha. And then you learn that song, afu kesho mtu mwingine anaimba, but hii ni ngoma ya mse. Maybe hakuwa amerecord your time. You get it? Okay, so this was government controlled and a few broadcasters. Sasa hii era wenye wanajua hii era wanaweza explain deeper. When KBC and all that, kulikuwa showing to Miziki, like there are people who can explain this. Now, me, I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s. Yes, millennial, but now we are not saying millennial, we're saying raised in the 80s, born in the 90s. Cassette players. Now, I was supposed to prepare this earlier. Guy, in New Africa office yet we had cassette players. And let me get something real quick. I was to get this thing before. Nilikuwa niweke kando. But hii mzee, bro. So me, I'm an older, guys. I am an older, bro. Like, I have shit that I should throw away. But when it comes to music, shit. So this was my family's radio. I kept it, took it from my mom's house. And I want to use it as an example. In New Africa, it was there. And I need to wipe it and tried using it. The radio is working. Tape up and kidogo. I need to find an equivalent of that. So, born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, bro. As a child, damn, this was the shit. This was the shit. So, hapa kuna cassette players, CD player, Walkman, hizo zilikuja baadaye. Like, publishing, more structured royalty system now. growth of CMOs like Kenya Music Copyright Society of Kenya, retail shops, street vendors, era kulikuanga ma shops. And one of the shops that I think for purposes of this video is Kasanga System, Kasanga Music Shop. So me and my mom would go to Kasanga Music Shop and she would buy tapes. Na mimi namkumbuka akinishikilia hivi. So it's weird, I remember almost all the songs I've ever had. Like nikisikia song even I'm like, so melodies and like that ziliniingia mapema. So these are like some of the tapes. So I took all the tapes. At our other studio we had them on display, but yeah, there's so many. Kuna Safari, Miss Rose, Nani. There are so many. I had so many, but I have moved apartments, so I'm no longer having those tapes, but I can get a few. So Kuna Mungu Mwingine, this is that lady, Mary Atieno, and her husband. This is one of the other stories that is sad. Kuna Mungu Mwingine. So as you can see, this is cassette. It looks like this. One day I gave my son, akaniambia, inakaaje ini nini? But some of these ones are in their original form and I would want to sample them. So if you read them, man, you call all rights reserved, you know. And kulikuwa Children of God. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. My favorite was Ron Kenoli. This guy was an amazing singer. He had a song. Actually, when I was doing the practice for this video, actually, I did when I started this news quality pass, I remember I had done a demo video. And after doing the demo video, I went online and I saw that he had passed away. So now, nikiwa mtoi sasa hizi ndo vitu zikuwa zinanibamba. Kwa sasa mamangu alikuwa anacheza gospel. Hakuna venye angecheza secular kwa nyumba yake. So this was my first. It should play loudly. So I would hear cassettes zikicheza. And I would read the lyrics to the song. So nilianza kujifunza kusongwrite hapa. Let me see which one I can remember. Hii ni gani? Hii ni God is able. God is able. I like the older ones. Kulikuwa sing out. The Lord is here. Willing building my temple. So the church was very heavy on my shit. So this was 1990. But you can see it has credited BMI as Sun Music. So the idea of, and let me tell you why I'm telling you the time is up for these people. These songs have these chords. So this artist will never lose money. That's why you're wondering why some of these artists are balling. Yeah? We shall later discuss all that. But let me show you now how I used to roll. So I would wait for a show that would come on radio. It was Rick D's Top 40. So I would wait for Rick D's Top 40. Sometimes we'll talk about something. So I'll take one of the old tapes that my mom no longer likes and I'll put it on one side. This one, the one that could record. Venye hii ya kitambo hata kufungika ni noma. Hey, inaekaje? One of these ways, maze. Hii radio ni mzee sana. I need to get a proper player. It will be interesting just to listen to the music through tapes. So I would put the tape over there and record a beat that I've had on radio, remove that tape, bring it here. This radio had a mic. And then even at a young age, you record at mono. And then you record your demo. Like, and that was like, I was a kid, mase. I was a very weird kid because imagine unafanya hizo vitu unakaa funny, mase. That was me, man. That was me. So, Kasanga Music Store, one of the 4 founders of the MCSK, and even in this commission of inquiry, this is one of the few people we're going to question because there's something we're going to discuss here that is going to shock you. So, 2002, 2000 to the 2010s, this is the CD, the public, this was sasa nikiwa mtoi mzee. At some point, sasa sijui niliendelea na maisha, but nakumbuka CD zikikuja. And I remember this particular time, readings were popular that time. I would go to a shop where At this particular time, the biggest challenge was piracy. Because now, you take one of the CDs. Now the CDs, then you can have my CD, bro. Wow. If I never use these things, I'll never use them again. I will never use them again. And that was it. Like, I just keep them as just history, you know? Like, kuna huyu anaitwa nani? Dunia ya chafuka. Lois Ndene Modhaka. Christina Shusho, unikumbuke. Aha! This one actually has a seal, Kenya Copyright Board. So, Nana, Kasanga has some level of analog and digital through this seal. You're supposed to keep records of how many you've sold and stuff like that. And that was an era paid for my movie, Wicked Love, Part 1. My favorite was this one for Michael Jackson, man. I even have framed it. This one was like, shit. Imagine this one kitu kama hii, mase. I can't wait for the movie, by the way. Like, this was, this was 87, mtu wangu. For Instagram, bro. This was like, it's a collector's item, bro. And that's why he's the greatest, my G. Like, just this and the actual CDs, and to listen to that, my God. That was another level. Na nimekuwa nazo mpaka za kina Basco Buff. Like, I've had a lot. There are several. But now since I moved, I kind of... They were displayed in New Africa, but now we've changed offices. So, boom. Soon we're going to have them displayed somewhere else. But that was the era of the CD. And early piracy started like that. I remember redeems zilianzanga pia hapo. And I'm also looking at it from the artist point of view. You know, they don't have bani wa mangoma. You know, piracy. The money, was it coming back to the artist? The people, you wanna consume music, you wanna bambika. But there are systems that should be placed behind the music to allow the person making the music to earn from any time that the sound recording gets done what? Consumed. If it's played on YouTube, there's a license that they have paid. If it's played on radio, there's a license that radio has paid. And that money should be able to trickle down to the creator of that music, of that sound. So now, that was 2000 to 2010. 2011, 2020. This is where music was hard, phones everywhere, matatu, ringback tones. I feel like ringback tones is an evolution of piracy. Because now it's you duplicating the song digitally. You get me? And the other day I released Nairobi Living last year, an album that I released last year. After I knew how to produce, I actually released an album called Nairobi Living as DJ Nairobi. I produced the entire of that. So one day some guy came akaniambia, "Cheki bro, niko na ngoma yako kama ringback tone." I'm like, "Excuse me?" And he played it for me. He was like, "Call me, you'll hear the song." And I called him and I heard the song. But I was like, "Bro, I have not put up my song for that. So how?" And he was like, "Bro, I've been doing that forever, man." And I was like, "Damn, are people still making money from that?" Which is crazy. Oh, by the time it was this particular era, there are people who... That's why you need a commission of inquiry. That's a very interesting era. Bluetooth, tumia song. Sharing in school. Wasa kitoka shule wanaenda sijui wapi wanakuja na ma-CD na ma-flash na manini. Ni mnabambika. But mwenye alimba hiyo song abambiki, bro. You know? That's why we're trying to let you know how you experience music, and you need to understand. Yeah? That separation, think about it this way. Think about it like a triangle. And there's a separation between the people and the creators of the music. And here in between are now the enablers, radio presenters, and now the stakeholders who are very important in the music industry, but only in the music business. Okay? We're going to be talking more about that. So in 2020 to the present, now there is a streaming era where music is hard streaming in houses, cars, gyms, supermarkets, hotels, elevators, offices, matatu, clubs, restaurants, public places, devices like smartphones, smart TVs, speakers, Bluetooth speakers. You could use your same phone. Experience music is now on demand and everywhere. Platforms like Spotify, Boomplay, YouTube dominance, background music has been part of daily lives and businesses everywhere. Like, ukitoka tu kwako hivi utembee, utasikia mziki everywhere. And somehow that consumption of music should be able to be tracked so that the revenue can go back to the creators. Now, let's talk about social media and apps to the artists. Streaming in Kenya is very recent. This is in 2013, 2023. Compared to global markets, yes, it had a rapid transformation. It transformed how music is assumed and monetized, is accessed and monetized. So let's talk about like streaming platforms in Kenya with some timeline. Among the very first ones was Apple Music, but the OG of the OG, and I feel like we need to give these guys their credit, is Mudundo. Mudundo was here in 2013, guys, and they've had their journey. They're still here. Like Mudundo, I think we need to give Mudundo their flowers for holding it down. And that the first early times of Kenyan artists getting their music was on Mudundo. I kid you not. Boomplay 2017. Spotify, believe it or not, ilikuja 2021. YouTube Music 2023. And this can be arguably be the most dominant places when the data that they have is what fuels our music. So there's DistroKid, a free Kori music group, the United Masters for independent artists like me. I'm using United Masters, Universal Music, BMR. These are like some of the big companies that we can say are here. And Us New Africa, the organization that I started in 2020. And we are going to be going into some aspect of this. And we're going to be talking about that. But I'm super interested in like knowing what you think about this. Utasikia vitu kama umse ndo mnoma sana kona views the most. Umse ndo akona what Spotify plays. Like, it's so interesting that we rely entirely on apps. Our whole industry in Kenya relies 100% on apps. Apps that may change, apps that just see us as just any other, you know? The content kama tu watu wako Botswana, watu wako sijui wapi, but yet our music is very unique, very rich, and there's so much that we can monetize. We can control the narrative so hard. Anyway, let us now talk about how one song generates money. So that once we get to now the replacement and disbandment and the investigation of CMOs, we see how we are not supposed to be having these issues now. There's the composition and there's the sound recording, which is referred to as the master. So in the composition, it comes down to the same questions. Songwriters, nani aliandika hizo vitu? Sometimes even the artists, the producers can be entered there for virtue of just letting the producer get something. They're credited as songwriters. Sometimes kwa hizi record label nimesikia huko sasa ndo watu wengine wanawekwa wenye hata nyinyi hamjui. Na kama wewe ni msanii, this is a very important part of your music. Wasanii wengi hiyo ngoma ikitoka wewe unaingoja kwa Spotify, ututumie link, utuambie yeye check out niko na 1 million views. But what about your publishing? What names have been listed there as publishers, as writers, as boom? Issues zinaanzia huko. Performance, mechanical, sync and print. For example, if someone says they want to sing Sura Yako Mzuri Mama in an international school, they'll have to print the shit of the notes and all that. So print, mtu anaandikiwa. Nimekuambia anywhere the song is being consumed, haifanyikangi bure. So hiyo ikifanyika unafaa ukulie kama msanii. There's a sound recording. So ukisainiwa, kuna signing ya master na kuna signing ya publishing. Master recording, sasa ile unaenda ku-upload. Remember we talked about that. You can go back to this slide if you want to refer what the master is. The final version of the song, which all copies are made for distribution and consumption. So tukikuja hapa sasa kwa sound master recording, if you're independent, wewe unalipianga hiyo kazi, wewe kama mimi ndo na beat na jirecord nafanya hizo vitu saa hii, kitambo sikuwa nafanya. But I've been able to learn and teach myself and grow as a man, as an artist to get to this point, and I feel thankful that niko na hiyo ability, and it now ndo napata courage ya kuongelea hizi vitu, because ukikuwa msanii unakuanga na weak points, na hizo weak points zingine zinakuanga si wewe unaunda hizo beats. Remember nilikuambia ngori ikianza tu kwa muziki, swali ya kwanza unafaa ujiulize ni hizi swali: who wrote the lyrics? Ni mimi rap bro? Melodies ni mimi nilileta? Beat producer fulani? Studio ni ya nani? Yes, tunakuanga hapa bro, hata na hiyo computer ni ulibai. Si studio ni ya nini? Hapo ndo mangori zinaanza zinaanzanga. As an artist, that's one part of you need to control 100%, unless label sasa zimeingia hapo. So where hapo unaenda kupata streaming, digital performance, sync na neighboring rights. A lot of this stuff, by the way, zimetoka majuu. So the neighboring rights were like outside America, because these CMOs are supposed to collaborate with the global ones, and the global ones to collect for them globally. Now I'll collect up Kenya, which has never happened, and that's why we need that commission of inquiry. So royalties, there's a streaming royalties which you collect through your distributors. Another area that is now being debated around the music industry is my distribution zina generate easy codes. So they've become super powerful now. You get me? Because whoever generates this, controls this, gets to get all this through how we experience music. Na hata kama ilianza huko ma 70s ma 90s cassettes, nimekwambia kuna cassette tumepata hapa iko na code. Let's look at here. Let me use this Ron Kenoli one. There's a QR code over here. Ron Kenoli knows this cell, this unit. This money got back to him. So a lot of the challenges tuna face as artists ni hiyo, the record business. The music business is there, but the record business is not there. And we're going to talk about that later in this video. Stay with me, guys. So there's the mechanical royalties. This is songwriting and publishing. majumlc.com, that will be that. In Kenya, uko ndo tunafaa kuanga tu. Hizi ni vitu tunafaa kwa tulichange kitambo. Performance royalties. This is a performance organization like BMI, ASCAP. Now these ones are supposed to collaborate with local CMOs, which our Wakenya wameshindwa. Kama wewe ni mse independent, mimi mwenyewe fanya ngoma na mse independent mzungu, na we got into a disagreement when it came to royalties, cause alikuwa ndani maybe sijui hizi vitu, but born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, unajua lazima ungekuwa ulienda campus. So this, believe it or not, guys, me, I went to law school. I became a lawyer so that I could become an entertainment lawyer and change the game. The younger me would be like, yeah, do it, but I would have never said it loudly because imposter syndrome. But now I'm no longer afraid of my ideas, and that's why I've decided to even do this stream to address these things. If that has never happened, I put it in red. Digital performance royalties. These are like Pandora, iHeart Radio. This doesn't exist. Mziki zetu ziko huko. Kenya kuna so many digital media stations that we never collect royalties from. Zimejaa hivi. Hizi ma free to air. Hiyo time kwanza digital ziliingianga, hapo ni venue moja tumehata mbaya. Synchronization royalties. This is the video games, movies, commercials. There's a fee that you get for doing it and royalties that you get to collect. This is one of the areas that we are dropping the ball so big because we can collaborate with the film industry. Synchronizations lets me talk NJ. The film industry is making more money. That's why we need changes. Neighboring rights outside USA, Sound Trust. Outside Kenya, print royalties. Yenye nilisema, if someone decides to go and take sura yako mzuri mama and they want to play, unaona kwa hapo wanasoma ma codes. Hizo codes na zimeandikwa, kuna hata ganji hapo. Now our historical problem, Kenya CMOs. First of all, there are so many. This is one of the areas that we need to address. The music is the same, but the components are so many. Kuna ya performance, kuna ya writers, kuna sijui ya nini, but na watu wenye wanafanya zote, all of them need to be disbanded and reinvestigated, and we're going to address that more. So for introduction, in Kenya, collective management organizations, CMOs, such as Music Copyright Society of Kenya, MCSK, Kenya Association of Music Producers, CAMP, and the Performance Rights Society, Kenya, PRISC, are established as companies limited by guarantees. So hiyo ni ile kitu moja wasanii tunafaa tujue. Kuna wasanii wamekuja kaniambia, "Sasa uogopi unaongelelea government?" Like, bro, we're not going up against the government. We're going up against a company that is limited by guarantor. In this commission of inquiry, you need to know all these companies. Who is that guarantor? New Africa Pamoja Foundation is actually a non-profit organization limited by guarantor. I am the guarantor. That's why we need to understand where all these problems started from. This means they operate as a non-profit member-based organization with no shareholders, where musicians, producers, and performers are the primary stakeholders. This means their main role is to collect and distribute royalties on behalf of their members when music is used commercially. Remember the aspect we talked about? Consumption. Through what? This chord. They can be able to collect royalties for their members, on behalf of the members when music is used commercially. These CMOs are regulated and licensed by Kenya Copyright Board, which oversees the operation to ensure compliance with copyright laws. Copyright law. So, mi niliendanga law school kujua hizi vitu. But the general legal system in Kenya in terms of law school is very general. The like, education is very general. So you have to like maybe do masters in this. And I would actually pursue doing that. But I think like being on the ground and being an artist and seeing it, like me nimerelate na wasanii moja kwa moja hivi, nimekaa kwa studio nikichana mpaka asubuhi nikiangalia wakirecord. Like I've lived that life so much to the point that I am more of an artist than I am of an entertainment lawyer. But I do have the knowledge in my fingertips. Like I know exactly what I'm talking about. So these are the organizations that we want to be disbanded, replaced, and investigated. Let us talk about this. Follow the music, follow the money. Royalty collection in everyday spaces in Kenya called CMOs collect royalties on behalf of the artist whenever music is used publicly or commercially. This includes plays on radio, TV, and as well as music heard in matatus, supermarkets, hotels, clubs, gyms, churches, events, and even offices and elevators. As music has become part of every life, each of these spaces represents a licensing point where businesses and service providers are required to pay for the use of music. And this is where the fraud is. And I said, follow the music, follow the money. This is one document I want you to take time. I'll have this document. I can't read out everything, but they are saying at this using this document that they have 15,500 Kenyan authors, composers, arrangers, and publishers of copyrighted music works. Okay, and they have an account. Now, this is the part where I want us to, watch some movies, watch some videos. Yeah, this is the part where let me just confirm kila kitu iko sawa. This is just, I hope kila kitu iko sawa. Yes, everything is okay. Now, I want to play you some videos. And this is the part where I put on my headphones. So, I want you to listen very carefully to these videos.
That after you have done what you have done, to be able to look at the costs as a company and declare this is how much we are going to distribute. So it's not a conveyor.
Guys, itakuwa Facebook's doing how long? I'm trying to operate. I want to play that video from the top. And I haven't logged in, but it's because I don't use. Go back. Go back. Oh no. We need to hear that video. We need to hear that video. Let me go to my history. We need to hear that specific video because the way I had seen it, there's something we need to hear from that video. Okay, I hope it plays now. I want you to hear exactly what he says. And yeah. First of all, he confirms that they are regulated by memorandums. So it's a limited by guarantor. So it's live. Yeah, 1 minute. We're gonna catch you, my guy. Don't worry. It's live. So, should is it? Should be the last one. Oh no. Where is that video? Among the three ones. Say inaletea nini hii jamani? Okay, 1 minute. Takupata. You see, hizi ma video zao zinajificha mzee. Like it's hard to get these videos. You should know these guys are millennials. So they're on Facebook. Let's go to their channel. That's how I got it. That's how I got it. That's how I got it. Let's go to the videos. They're calling them reels. We hear this?
However, in his own defense, MCSK CEO Ezekiel Mutua says it was in fact Kutuni who wanted to misappropriate artists' monies by demanding a bribe.
Okay, so there is this issue of, I will find the video, but there's this entanglements that are happening within this CMOs. They're throwing blame to each other. Their licenses have been revoked. They're throwing blame to each other.
Rules. They are called memorandums and
This one.
articles of association.
It's this one.
They define the function
How the hell do I get rid of this? Okay, please, please.
of
Okay.
association.
So they are memorandum of association. So this is not the government. This organization was founded in 1983. Nanipata, the ISCR code was established in 1986. Okay? So they are currently here in Kenya limited under guarantor. We need to know who the guarantor is. Two, the memorandum and associations, as he will say, are too many for you to go through them. But if you want, they should be. They will be. You should go through them.
Define the function, including how we are employed, how we sit here.
So
the board function.
it's an organism. It's everything has been laid out. I get it, but they say the devil is in the details. Let's go proceed.
Go and read. I'm not about to. There's no time enough for me to explain them. However, the board is given the powers by the members once you collect.
So the board is given the powers by the members. Remember, I told you the devil is in the details. Remember, keyword to remember here is members, board.
That you have paid debts
After you have paid debts,
done what you have done,
after you have done what you have done,
to be able to look at the costs as a,
to look at the cost, yani muangalie
and declare this is how much we are going.
and declare, yani nyinyi at your own, yani nyinyi ndo mkae chini mseme cost zetu ni 1 2 3 4 5 na tumeamua kupeana hivi. This is how they split the royalties, guys. There is the money that they usually give, wanachukua wanagawanisha equally to all members, alafu kuna hiyo ingine wanapea wasanii according to the royalty that they pay, the songs. Haya, cheki.
So it's not a conveyor belt. They are cost.
Asema it's not a conveyor belt. And that's one of the areas that I feel that this system went wrong. It should be a conveyor belt. Kama M-Pesa. There's nowhere M-Pesa, ati mimi naona ni transaction to cut a 30 bob ama 30. No. Kenya has a very successful money system. And that is the same that should be applied in the music industry. Skiza tu.
Attendant to it. And I'll tell you some of the costs have actually been brought up by the government. In 2017 to 2019,
2017 to 2019. Hiyo watu wamesema.
that same thing that they are
Sikia naita Kekobo, that same thing. There is a lot of issues between the CMOs Kekobo and the members. The members hawaongei though. What's this, man? What's this? Go on.
they took away our license and they gave it to a body called Mpake.
So Mpake is like another person who wants to take over MCSK.
For 2 years, we didn't have a license.
For 2 years they hakuwa na la. Sikiza tu vizuri.
What it meant is that we closed offices.
So they were not operating for 2 years.
We laid off workers. Some of them took us to court. As a result, KRA, Kenya Revenue Authority, slapped us on the bill of 40 million.
KRA nataka uandike hizi. In fact, the only thing nataka uandike hapa is figures. The figures you will hear from these videos. 40 million. Unajua KRA sio enda wazimu. KRA wakisema wanaku on 40 million kadhe. Whether it is true or not, that is a figure that is not. Iezi kuwa tu hivyo. Sikia?
There's a lawyer, you can Google, it was in the Nation.
It was in the Nation. Google the lawyer.
Some of the lawyers, one who was claiming 62 million for money.
62 million. Hiyo ingine ilikuwa 40 million, andika 62 million.
Last year. Thank God we won that case. Otherwise, we would be again reeling in debt. Last year, we tried as much as possible to pay those debts.
So last year they tried as much as possible to pay off those debts. Ni ngapi? That's why in this commission of inquiry, KRA has to be there. Ile account waliotuonesha pale, hiyo account inafaa ikuwe frozen. Any amount of money that has gone there. Remember, every song has what? Has that code. So assuming all the members have only one song in their database, we can be able to know how many members they have, how many songs they have, and how they calculate. Let's just say they're saying their system is not conveyor belt. But with the use of that code, I mean, we know the music. Wacha nikwambie, their days are numbered. Siku za mwizi ni 40. Now why? Music is one of the most advanced technology in the world. And eventually, these questions have to be answered. Sikia sasa.
Bring MCSK to a clean slate and start operations in a manner that will make this company profitable.
So profitable, and it is a non-profit organization. For musicians and for our members. I told you the devil is in the details. The members are also musicians. But why is he distinguishing between two separate groups? Musicians and our members. Our members and our musicians. And this is the thing. There is money that they usually give collectively, and inakujanga to 3,000 ikienda sana. Na kuna ingine wanapeanga sani as per their plays. Let us go to another video, guys. Because nikona hapa ndo popcorn. Hapa nilikwambia utafute popcorn. Taka usikie hii story hapa sasa. This is gonna be a lengthy video, but I think we need to talk about this thing once and for all. Let's talk about that. Let's hear this. Let's hear this video.
If it is a law,
isn't this 70-30 a law?
It is a law.
So they're talking about the idea of foreign music. Remember, we have neighboring rights. So the relationship between the music industry in Kenya and global music industry should operate through an organization that can allow companies like BMI, ASCAP to collect for royalties globally and for them to collect for their royalties inside the country. So the relationship here, inafaa kuwe wao wanatuchukulia tukiwachukulia. Haijawahi happen. And that's why I'm saying these conversations, we need to have these conversations at a commission of inquiry that will be streamed for every Kenyan. So that isikuwe ni Seronei na watu wake watatu wameenda huko kupanga kitu yao. Umesikia anauliza 70-30. So they are supposed to collect money for the global artists. Now, yani kuna relationship. And if you go to BMI's website, ASCAP. Wacha nizifungue hapa kando tukirudingi kwa hiyo nini. BMI. Site music. There's a part where they consolidate the relationship that they have internationally with countries with regions from other countries away from America. Hawajaifanya hivyo. I'll find that part. But the most important thing here is, let's go back to that video. You don't want to lose that video. Let's listen to this video.
The law, okay.
Yeah.
He hasn't challenged it in court.
Then do your part as a government.
He's saying the law is currently, under the current circumstances, it's not real. It's not realistic.
It doesn't work.
It is not realistic because the guy himself said it's not a conveyor belt. He has said that they have been given power through their members. And I honestly believe that they do not have members. Where are the members? They are saying they have 15, in fact, Ramali utaskia 16,000. Where are those 16,000 musicians? Where is the data for those songs? Let's assume all of them have only one song. That's why that commission of inquiry lazima ifanywe mahali public. Hapo KICC is one of the places I'm proposing. How 1,500, 1,600, wakuje wote hapo tuwaone. Because I honestly believe if they're giving people 3,000, how many musicians are there? I think watu hesabu wanajua. If they're giving artists 3,000, find X. Let me know in the comment section. Find X. They're giving 3,000 to musicians. How much money did they collect? And remember, alikuwa na deni ya 40,000 and walilipa within 2 years. Sikia.
Tell face, because then you're able to handle
Circumstances. It's not real. It's not realistic.
Let me just say something.
It's not realistic because it has to be data driven. It has to be a conveyor belt. You can't say it's not a conveyor belt. It's being paid based on a performance of a record sound that can be traced through that chord. So every song that they have has a chord. So kuwapata hata si ngumu ni tuonesheni your data yenyu. You have how many songs in your database? How many of those songs have these chords? Let us backtrack them till 1963. In fact, since 1960. In time ilianza alafu 202 hapo ndo walipewa hiyo license. Tujue mmekuwa mkilipa. Bro, it's technology. You can't steal this thing for that long.
It's always good to have a cartel face, because then you're able to handle it. Number one, it is absolutely not true that MCSK has cooperated and operated within the law. I have the data here and I will leave this copy with you, Smart.
We need to see. Umesikia amesema nini? Data. We need to see that documents. This commission of inquiry has to look at your account walipeanapo, freeze it. Every amount of money that has gone there are supposed to be attached to a sound recording. I mean, what are you collecting money from? From sound recordings that can be traced through that chord. Guess what? Each of those songs has a chord. Skiza kenye jamaa anasema.
To
mute tu ukimaliza wana mute.
So to 2021, MCSK has cooperated and operated within the law. I have the data here and I will leave this copy with you, Smart. From 2019 to 2021, MCSK did not even bother to declare what they had collected or distributed. Did not bother to the regulator.
Imagine, hawakupeana hata report. Ati tumecollectido. And how are you even quantizing the money? Using which system? They did not even bother. Yani wao walisema hiyo ndio miaka ndio tumecollect. Cheki bro, tuwatumia ile dhawa yenyu mbili sawa. Hai.
I've given it time, let me talk. Okay. I have the data here. That 2022, MCSK collected 109 million.
109 million? Why is it pausing every time I'm muting?
They were unable to collect because they distributed 13. I have the data here. That 2022, MCSK collected 109 million. 109 million. They
109 million. Tulikuwa tumeandika millions ngapi? 40 million ya KRA. Then within 2 years they settled those challenges mbio wakaru clean slate. Ha! Wakarudi mboka. 109 million. Out of the 109 million
to collect because there was no tool.
We've given those reports to the regulator.
Sikio jamaa venye anaonge. Let me tell you, this thing is a crime, guys. Famjai ngori mbana ase. Tunafaa tujai ngori. Kaujajaa ngori by now. Mimi sijui kama umepatch bro, but 109 million.
109 million. 109 million. They distributed 13 million.
Hi! 109 wakadistribute 13 million. Alisema hapo awali wamepewa power ya wao kama board members, wakaivi waseme si tunaona tuwapatie hii. Hey, my God. It's unbelievable. Yani hata ikai kitu na happen sai.
This is now 2022. MCSK collected 109 million. 109 million. They distributed 13 million. They can't say they were unable to collect because there was no enforcement.
Which is this?
This is now 2022. They can't say they are unable to collect
how much?
109 million.
Collected 109.
They distributed 13 million.
Richard, is it true?
In 2022, we distributed.
You know why this cannot just be a TV thing? It has to be a commission of inquiry with professionals. One of the ones, mimi nikwambie, mimi nishafikiria hiki to till the end. I say wanafaa investigate it properly. Follow the music, follow the money, bro. We have caught each of those songs is digital right now. And if it's not digital, it has a code. There's data from Kasanga to your period yote mpaka the digital migration. That's why unaonanga songs make millions every year. You understand what I'm talking about? Music business is a multi-billion industry. But hapa Kenya, tumebaki kama wale wasanii unasikianga shida zingine zinafanyika Afrika, yani unashindwa haje sasa 2026 tuko na shida kama hii. Wasanii sasa wanafaa kuwa na mayat bro. Ile do inafaa kuwa mingi mpaka wasanii waende wanunue chains bro. Yani what are you talking about? It's not a joke. Yani mimi nashindwa mbona tumenyamazia hiki kitu kaze. Ya. Na hizi video zimejaa. Do your own research. Uniambie kama hii system imewaka kama ijawaka. Ijawaka. Sikia.
Yeah, around that much.
109 million collected.
1995.
We're in agreement, 109 collected. How much did they distribute?
13,894,913.
He agrees 109.
Yeah. Is
I'm
that
gonna
true?
say based on that document. We wanna see that document. You wanna tell me Larry Mado, nipatie interview. Let's talk about this. Those people who have a platform, Oga Obina. I saw Oga Obina in one of the pictures of MCSK Kwanza. Eh? Tuambieni. Let's talk about this. You want to tell me this is happening in 2020 something in an African country that is so forward thinking like Kenya? Never. It ends there. It ends here, guys.
Million.
23, not 13.
Yes, yes.
So their document was
They distribute?
13,894.
Did you collect?
That was around that much.
109 million collected.
Around there. He has not denied, he has said around there.
How much did they distribute?
13,894,913. By the way, based on their document.
Oh, yeah. Is that true?
So what we distributed for that collection period, okay, was 23 million.
23, not 13.
Yes, yes.
So their document was wrong.
So you see, you're saying our document was wrong, but you're not.
I can give you your document and your signature.
Okay.
Bro, follow the music, bro. It's data, bro. It's over. Like Ikitu, once you understand where we're going, you're not gonna like example this video, I think they asked him about AI music.
Kuna mchipuko wa teknolojia ambazo zipo.
AI music is 100% based on data. It studies the patterns and the rhythms of a sound and generates music. If you are not properly managing the data, how the hell are we gonna get to this level? Tunasumbukana na radio. Radios and they're holding on a string right now. Media houses. Sasa tukitaka watch TV tunaiwatch YouTube. Are you kidding me? Hizi vitu zifai kwa zinafanyika 2026 mathe. Wasanii wote tunafaa tujae ngori mbaya. Si ati kidogo mbaya. Tuende hapa hai.
Kwa sasa.
Sikia.
Teknolojia ya akili mnemba AI. Kuna
Akili mnemba. This guy is a showman. He knows how to, diffuse the tension through comical things. Like, ni mkamba umse. Me have kamba, Kuna kwangako, like, the tension is high, but you want to make it funny.
Nemba.
But we're talking about real human beings.
Naam.
Wacha niandike nisi.
Teknolojia ya akili mnemba, naam.
Sasa Sheila, wacha niseme na asante kwa kunifunza neno akili mnemba. AI, artificial intelligence. Yes. Na umesema kule Tanzania wanaita akili unde. Sasa wasikilizaji pia mmesoma, hata mimi nimesoma. Sheila, asante. Natakiwa nikulipe kwa.
This man needs to be in front of a panel. Aulizwe maswali hard. Me, I have questions I can ask this man. Nashindo nimetoka wapi. Every chairman since 1963, hivi wote, kwani ni wangapi? All the money, all the songs. And let's hear what he says.
AI is here to stay. Teknolojia ndio inatuongoza na hakuna njia ya kuepa. Na ndio maana nasema hata katika sanaa ya uimbaji lazima watu wajue kwamba AI is here to stay. Na itachukua kazi zao kama hawatajua kuitumia.
I get it. I get that narrative. We're not here to talk about AI music, but my question is, there's ethical AI and ethical AI. If the system, let me tell you, the music industry is a house, and if the foundation is not based in a strong foundation, if the foundation is not strong, then whatever we build on top of this housing is not going to hold. We never healed from piracy, we never healed from ISO systems as you work. You cannot say it cannot be conveyor belt. It should be conveyor belt. It's data. It's like M-Pesa. I need to be able to be in an app where I can figure out and track my music. I mean, I have the code. that code can be able to track my music. And I have a bigger vision that allows that code to be more than just tracking that thing. It can generate money beyond what we just see here in 2026. Kenya is in a position to revolutionize music globally based on our culture as Kenyans. And this man and the system that he believes in is standing in between that growth. He's here to stay. Go watch this. I don't want to promote him that much. So, Camp wana fight huku, wana fight, mara wanakubaliana. So here they are saying they have a joint partnership licensing. I don't know where that one went. Let's continue these videos, guys. Let's continue with this video. Now we have 16,000 members. Let's hear this video.
Copyright Society of Kenya has refuted claims that current CEO Ezekiel Mutua had been suspended.
So there's a lot of confusion. Has he been suspended? Has he not been suspended? The license has been revoked. Like, what is true? What is not?
From across the country says that it is fully behind the CEO, Dr. Ezekiel Mutua, and MCSK management under him. The board further goes on to indicate that it is happy and satisfied with the work Mutua has done within a short time since he was recruited to lead change management and give strategic.
Angalia your board. So the board, the members. But the most important thing here is you will never hear the music. Hizo songs zote ziko wapi? Simweke playlist. Me, I'm telling you, MCSK has ghost members. That's what I'm suspecting. 16,000 musicians. Wasanii wako wapi? Wako wapi hao wasanii? Wajitokeze, wawatetee. I really like this video. It made me laugh.
Court at Milimani has stopped the Music Copyright Society of Kenya from collecting royalties. Reason: ongoing licensing dispute, and without a valid license, MCSK has no legal authority to collect payments. Around 16,000 plus artists are affected as their usual royalty collection is disrupted. Sasa bien atafanya nini bila 2,400? Munataka survive aje?
Simple boy nani ekago 64 bob.
Stop.
Stop. MCSK mfanyi kwa. This is a living. This is a living for it's a living for somebody.
Imagine my guy. Yeah? Yaani watafuti ingine hapa. Sikia hii sasa. This is the chairman now. There's a lot of division in between these people, bro. Even if, nimekwambia, remember the amounts. Larry Mado, nipatie interview, bro. People who have platforms. Or Bina, let's talk about this. If you have a platform, use it, address these things. Kama MCSK inafanya kazi, sikia hiyo jamaa atasema.
Pesa zetu, maana mara kwa mara regulator anatutishia. Tunaona kwa makaratasi na kwa press ya kwamba leseni zetu zimeondolewa ama iko namna hii.
However, the chairman for artists in the country now says that the funds were not distributed as directed by the...
You know, this is the funny part. They always have one musician. Somehow this one musician is supposed to represent all the musicians. Unaona? Alisema our musicians, by the way.
Milioni 100 ambazo president
sikia
wapatia ni kwamba kulikuwa na milioni 100 ambazo president alipeana. Hizo milioni 100 asikuwa na administration cost hata moja. Hizo pesa mnajua vile zilingawanwa na vile zilifanyika, hakuna mtu anaulizia. Zilikuwa mikononi ya serikali, sisi hatukusipata. Na unaona CMO tukifanya kosa kidogo, sisi tunafuatwa sana, lakini hiyo ni pesa ya wasanii ilipolewa na watu na wako katika serikali na hakuna mtu anawafuata.
There are two sides to this story, guys. Andika tu tena hiyo do. 100 million. Whether this is true or not, don't you think it deserves an investigation? Don't you think it deserves people to question? It deserves an investigation to fuata hizo mando. Unasikia year after year after year after year. Bro, mimi niliingianga game 2015 when I did They Call Me Sugar, They Call Me Daddy. And sometimes you feel discouraged, like ni kama unatupa tu your intellectual property into the water. You're like, dude, not all of us are going to get to that level where we go to international countries uko kwenye ma record labels au zime develop, the systems are there for them to earn. We can build our own, bro. Anyway, let's go back to our presentation, guys. Let's go back to our presentation, because for me, you can go and research on this. This is not information that is me don't generate. This is information that is public. And I want to talk about the birth of Kenyan sound. And in relation to this aspect of this code and this aspect of the master rights. This era is one of the most important eras in Kenyan music history, because at this particular time is where many of the artists are still alive, many of the artists are still making music, many of the artists are still within the music business, and many of these artists we can access even in this commission of inquiry. Like we can have Jua Kali anaweza kuja hapo atuambie, bro, royalties zako za kiasi, when you member of MCSK, how has that money worked for you? Atuambie ukweli, bro. I mean, you're gonna take an oath. Sanaipe Itande, first song I remember when they did Let the Wind Blow. She was a young lady at that particular time. Our royalties, has she ever earned from our royalties? Sanaipe tuambie, as a female powerhouse in this country, have you seen the benefits of that organization? And not just saying it. I mean, it's data driven. We have the data, we have the codes. Tunajua ngoma za Sanaipe, tuambie royalties za hizi ni ngapi. We need to have a system that can just calculate it, bro. Tuambie basi za Isa. Tuambie tu boom boom ba. Hii imekula royalties ngapi? This is very important. This era is very important because of something called home studios and the development of DAWs. Music back in the day hapa ilikuwa, a lot of it was analog. Na utaona mastudio makubwa na hizi mavitu Nairobi zingine. But in this particular time, Fruity Loops and all these various DAWs were just developing. And that technology also came here in Africa. Na our say, wali create muziki yao sana, and this music has become, angalia picha ya Ogopa DJs versus Caliph. Caliph Records. There's the name Records over there. Ogopa DJs. This is Red Sun. Nameless Wahoo. Ted Josiah. Uko Flani Mau. Bamboo. Bamboo nimemweka hapa juu Bamboo did that. Kapuka this, Kapuka that. And I feel like that's one of the L's we took. Us dissing our own music. You know? Like, we don't have a single name for our music that makes us not identify. So we are always fighting E sounding a fight E sounding ilianzanga hapo. But we had that sound earlier this particular time. Their data is still alive. So who never stream Isa? If I decide to sample Isa right now, that's what I'm saying. The music has really evolved to the point that these people can no longer handle it. It is impossible. That man cannot even comprehend what a sample clearance is. The AI, does he even know how it studies? That data, is it going to trickle? Kama iko trickle down, itaendeleaje ku trickle down? That's why it's a replacement, disbandment, and investigation. So don't mob sana. Tuambie tu Bumba Train imetoa ngoma ngapi? Streams ngapi? Hiyo ngoma hakuna mtu ajui hiyo ngoma. Ili generate how much money? Where's the legacy of that young boy? Whoever is holding that estate, if they say we use Bumba Train at a movie level, ni sample even patana na Drake siku moja na ni sample ngoma ya Isa, who's gonna clear that shit? Whoever controls the master. And that's what I'm saying. Even a badly credited song is a credited song. Tunaweza jua boom boom ba final version ilitokanga wapi? Hao watu wako hai. MCSK hii kitu wamekuwa kifanya for long cause technology is gonna catch up with them, and it starts now. We can build our system right here ourselves as Kenyans. We don't have to follow the systems za huko nje. That's why nimeileta hapa. These are the artists I believe we can use their data to prove whether that system has worked or not worked. Red Sun is one of our dancehall heroes. Ngoma zako ulicollect ngapi? Kama imework, tuambie. Na si ati ni hawa pekee. I'm telling you, enda kwa Facebook yao wase. Let's go to their Facebook. Let's go to their images. Hawa watu wote ni kina nani hawa? Huku ni wapi? Wanapewa Sanima Award. Award systems Kenya zimededi. Which data are they using to give these awards? Sani wote. Hii ni channel ya jamaa. Let's go to the MCSK photos. Some old photos I found here were very interesting. Hawa watu wote tuwaulize, wakuja kwa hiyo commission of inquiry, watuambie, okay? Hapa mkakunywa chai. Administrative costs zikaanza sasa. All these people. Mse actually ameanzisha yake huyu. He's one of the few. I saw a video he was complaining. Huyu ni nani? Huyu ule presenter huyu. Let all these people address if it has worked. Through data management. Msitupe opinions. Boss MOG. Hebu tuambie. Hiyo ngoma yenyu ya Go Let Him Go. Go Let Him. Is that song on Spotify? Let me tell you what I mean, bro. Whoever unadhani kwa nini Michael Jackson bado sasa nakatinga? Bob Marley alikufa lini, bro? But Bob Marley is one of the richest artists in Jamaica. Why? His data is still generating money. Your data, boss MOG. Tatuandike hapa. Boss MOG. Hizi manyimbo zote ziko hapa. That means there's publishing that is happening somewhere. Administrative cost hapa. So unaelewa. I think sometimes they do this thing and then they get two artists who take photos. Na hiyo kitu inakuwa hivyo. 2015. I don't even know what that is. Hao watu wote. Man enough. This was an album launch. One artist. There's a pattern. Utuendelee. Kuna picha zingine niliona wasanii wa kitambo. I didn't even know. This is the same thing. How much did each of this wasanii wakuje wawatete? Kujeni mtete MCSK with proper records. I mean, like, you can't tell us ati nilipewa pesa. No, it's currency, my friend. It's either 10 shillings or 10 million. It's a data. It's a conveyor belt. And that is one of the reasons why hapa ana perform. I'm telling you, everywhere. Huyu ni nani? What's her name? She's a gospel singer. Ule alimbanga. Kambua, tell us. MCSK, has it worked? Has it worked? This lady the other day alisema kuna kitu kama hiyo ilifanyika. Tuoneshe accounts. It's a commission of inquiry, bruv. We don't want to be helped at tukizeeka tunataka dosa hii, my friend. Let's just go. Wacha nikwambie kuna I want you to count wako na how many members. Composers. Unaona hapo wamesema composers. They have used like very hard terminologies. Composers, arrangers and copyright holders. We need to look at their data. Cheki jamaa na ball, bro. Anatembea na machopa, bro. Hii ni MCSK. Akishapiga picha hivyo imetosha. It's a wedding or something. Photos of events, and you think how many events are happening and how much each event is costing? Administrative costs are gonna skyrocket, bro. This almost looks like it's a Christian organization. Yet there is so much sound recording. MCSK kwanza inafaa itoke kwa hiyo kitu ya music in the sound. Because sound is beyond music. Ndo you Simple Boy tuambie MCSK ilikusaidia vipi? All artists, ongeeni. Hii kitu hezi kwa ina happen every year. Tuna complain every year. It is their Facebook page. Endelee tu uone. Wasanii wenye unajua umesikia ngoma zao. Huyu ni mchungaji. Comedy is also is a sound recording. Because comedy is sound. You're talking through a microphone. Amecha nikwambie. Waziri wa mazingira. Tuambie. Waziri wa mazingira. Geoffrey Msiria. Tuko serious. Tuambie MCSK mwaifanya kazi. Jawahi. Let us talk the truth, man. We need a data driven. Because I'm going to tell you exactly why it's going to have to be data. Because that data can do more than just what it has been doing. Because without that, You cannot keep it opinion based. You can't keep power on the board. Amesema kwa video yake na mdomo wake that the members through the board has allowed them to calculate ni gani watatoa. Pa unajua msanii mgani hapa? Msanii wote, kujeni muongee. Wakutetea watetee. Eriko Mondi uko hapa na kuona Eriko Mondi uko kwa MCSK. Eriko Mondi of all people. I am sure you are an honest artist. Eriko Mondi is a purist. Eriko Mondi ni kama mimi, yani yeye na art na talent yeye ni kitu kimoja. Mimi na muziki ni hivyo. Tuambie kama imewahi fanya kazi. Eriko Mondi tuambie kama imewahi fanya kazi. Tell us, it has never. Hapo ulijengwa yako lakini ukikaendelea. Nyambane. Has it worked? We need it to be data driven. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. Because that data can be used for so much more. Nimekwambia Beyonce wafungue mdomo wa record. Unadhani vitu ngapi zinaendelea hapo? Now replace Beyonce and bring in another artist. Ona hizi mapicha bro. Events after events after events. Any artist development happening? Umse pia alikuwa huko. Tuambie. Royalties zako umewai collect. Has she gotten her royalties? Wasanii wote lazima mtuambie ukweli. Otherwise tutakuwa bro niliingia kitu 2015 mpaka saa hii. Mpaka saa hii tunaongea kitu. Haiwezi. 2026 haiwezi. Haiwezi. Bro, it's almost an insult. This should be the longest reigning music scandal in music history. My events. And these events zina cost pesa ngapi? And meetings and more meetings. At this particular time, let me show you United Masters. They can show you how much times your data. That data is not just about spins and all. There is so much we can use that data for, bro. Hasa ni wote. Kuna wengine hata niliona nikashangaa. Ndio maana watu wamenyamaza kumbe. Nicholas Kioko. Si wewe huyu hapa. Ukiwa na umse nimemwona kwa content za Kikamba pia. This guy, I've seen him. Nandeke wa Muthanga. Tuambie. Mlikuwa mnasema nini huko? System gani mlikuwa mnaongelelea? Ama ni PR? Kamba Festival. You're all invited. License. My friend, music is digital right now. With a click of a button, I should be able to retrieve data that can, bro, inafaa kuwa. Hatuwezi kuwa na the same industry that has M-Pesa, na tuko na industry ingine kama hii yenye ni opinion based, ati a board and a few people have to sit down and decide. That's a scandal, guys. Sasa nini wengi hapa? Ngoja ndawaweka wote. I think this is Kasanga. This is like the forefathers of this music industry. Yeah, kona hiyo data ya hii. The tapes. If you want to ask him how many tapes were sold, he'll tell you. And I'll be explaining to you why. The mushrooms. Lazima kuja tuambie royalties system zako. You mean the money came to your account, right? Kama ulipewa na M-Pesa. Follow the music, follow the money. Mapicha. Ma meeting. Na hii ni moja, tujaenda camp, tujaenda prisk. Hey. This is the father. Because it's for copyright holders. He who translates an idea into a tangible form owns copyright. Msanii wako wapi mzee? Msanii si tunajua wako wapi mzee? Calligraph uko wapi hapa? Sauti Sol mko wapi hapa? Sana afanya do zao kivyao wako kwa music business. But I'm going to explain to you in a few. Like, kuna wasanii hapa lazima ni wataje. Because I saw their pictures, I was like, I know you. I saw Wahoo, I saw a couple of artists. That's why Nameless is one of the few artists lazima to involve pia kwa hii nini. These foreign investors. What's happening here? These videos have no captions though. They met, decided, boom. Commission of inquiry needs to be there. I believe you cannot be a football coach nowadays as a ball. So how are you in charge of music and you've never created the music? That's incompetence. There's a part where there's something I feel like ndo Kambua tena. Tuambie Kambua, pesa zinatokanga MCSK. Are you among the few artists who are lucky? 16,000 musicians or copyright holders. Now you see when they start saying those words, data entry is what we're looking at. All the data that they have can all be gathered, filtered, and each of those songs assigned and tracked. Hiyo pesa acha nikwambie, hakuna mahali wanaweza enda na hiyo do. This guy has been there for a minute now, and I saw a video where he's starting his own, the guy with the kandevu up. Meetings upon meetings upon meetings upon meetings upon meetings, bro. Meetings upon meetings upon meetings, bro. Where are artists being paid? When are we cashing out, bro? Hizi picha ni mingi. Ujamaa tuko hapa tunako comedy yako, has it paid you? It's a sound recording. Has it paid you? Has it paid you? Hapa sijui kama umeona msanii unajua jo. Kardinali umeona hapa. Toxic Lyrical umeona hapa. It's an old system. Wala hata watambui shit. Wala wamesha, you see, they're in the music business. And that's something that is great for them. But guess what? We have far much superior musicians in this country that easy challenges asifai kukua. Se walikuwa hapa, tuambieni MCSK. Kujeni muwatete nyinyi. Tell us, has it worked? Damn. Scroll to my meetings. Administrative costs. When are we cashing out? Do Juakali tuambie bro. When I'm real, Juakali ni real bro. MCSK imefanya. Tuambie bro. Tuambie. Yetu hizi kwa tunaoperate kama 1980 something. Hizi vitu zinafaa kuwa an app, bro. I wanted to see like how much money have I made from my DSPs. I can do that from an app here, United Masters. And we have developed an app. I can do this. But we need all of these people to be on board. Unule jamaa alikuwa anasema walirokota 109 wakapeana 13. Even if it is not true, don't you think it deserves an investigation? But guys, I want to talk about the future. One of the few artists I have to include is Nameless. I saw a picture of Wahoo hapa. And Movie and a couple of other artists. Kuna time Octopizo pia niliona aliwatetea. Octopizo, kujo tuambie kama hii work, bro. As is the data. Let me tell you something. Recently, there's been a lawsuit by Jamaican artists on top of like the sampling of their music, and they're winning. Meaning data cannot be, uwezi consume kitu ya mtu for free. Let's talk about this part. From 2026 and the future, art equals data equals power. If music data is mismanaged, missing, or controlled externally, then culture, revenue, and industry growth are also lost. Music is not just sound, it's data. Every song carries information: who created it, how it was performed, where it was played, and how people interact with it. In today's digital world, music becomes one of the most data-rich culture forms, which performs with platforms tracking what people listen to, when, and how often. The data is powerful. It drives revenue, royalty, streaming income, discovery, algorithm, recommendations, innovations, AI, music technology, analytics. How do you think musicians will know where to tour? They figure out, oh, these people are playing my music. All this is data that we are relying a lot on apps. But yet there's a part where we are losing money. All this that we're talking about is just performance royalties. You get me? Broadcasting, digital performance royalties, mechanical royalties, streaming royalties. Hatujaingia neighboring, hatujaingia printing, hatujaingia into the music business. Sasa mjanja zenye wasanii wanafanya. Let's go to this part. Global music data is now central to technology and science, powering systems like recommendations engines, music analytics, and even AI-generated music. Music data and cultural heritage. Music is also historical and identity. It carries stories, traditions, and cultural memories across generations. However, without proper data systems, much of this heritage risks being lost, underrepresented, or misinterpreted in global databases. Global researchers highlight that many music data sets exclude or poorly represent non-Western music. This is the part where I feel like a lot of even the big record labels, the big organizations that come to Kenya are run by non-Kenyans. It's very hard for you to promote music that you don't even believe in, or you haven't lived it, you don't know. You're gonna rely on data from streams that is not even 100% accurate. It can be bots, it can be fake views, it can be so many things. I told you the rectangle broke because there were people in the middle, promoters, radio presenters, DJs, all people were supposed to enable the music move from the people to the artist, from the artist to the people. But hapo katikati sasa vitu zinapotea. And this is why I'm talking about now the future. This is the part that excites me the most, because music business plus now what I am planning to introduce as the record business is equals to a music industry. Music business is practically what everybody's doing. Yani wewe ukiweza tu kufanya kenye utafanya, ujipatie do, ujilipie rent, uweze kuishi, ufanye vitu zako uko kwa music business. Whether you get endorsements, whether you work with companies, whether you get shows, you are getting 100% of your income from the music business. We haven't reached a level of the record business because we can't track what is a record sale, and that is what we need. And that's why it has to be a conveyor belt. It has to be data that can be retrieved. The music business is a system through which music is created, distributed, managed, and monetized, involving artists, producers, labels, publishers, and platforms. It transforms music from creative expression into both cultural values and economic opportunities. In this modern era, music business is powered by data. Every stream, every radio play, DJ set, social media interaction, and public performances generates information that determines how music is valued and how revenue is distributed. Platforms like Spotify, YouTube rely on the data to track storage and pay royalties. For Kenya, this presents both an opportunity and a challenge. While music is consumed everywhere, from matatus to clubs to streaming platforms, there is still a need for accurate tracking, transparency system, and structured measurement of success. And this is something that those who have been in the game long enough know that they exist. We're going to introduce the plaque system. Yes, we're going to track because this is independent from what MCSK is doing. And this is the business idea that Africa is going to be doing. We are going to find a way to quantize the data that we're going to get from your radio plays. Hiyo issue MCSK kwanza to raise 1 million views, so that 1 million signatures. So I don't want it to be it's me and a couple of my friends. It should be a system. In fact, it is me and developers and like-minded creatives who have been having these side conversations. But sitaki kuwe opinion-based, sitaki kuwe likability. No. You don't even need to like me. Look at the system that we are planning to bring. M-Pesa, ukienda kwa hiyo duka M-Pesa, if that lady who's addressing you don't like how she looks, does it change how the transaction works? No. Kama kununua kitu cost yake ni 5 bob inakatwa. If a play in the radio station is supposed to generate this amount of money, boom, it's supposed to generate this amount of money. And the reason why he says, you see, there's that aspect of I don't know what I'm doing. And with that music business or whatever is happening right now and a proper record business, we have a functioning music industry. We have an industry where artists can earn money, genuine money, use that data to make deals, get visas, travel the world. Now we are no longer pushing individuals, we are pushing an industry. We have control of all our data. Same mtu akitaka retrieve information from any blah 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 time to whatever time from 1963 or rather from 1983 tangu MCSK ku MCSK, that database needs to be filtered. That's why you need a public commission of inquiry. Right now I'm looking at like what do you call it, the plaques, how they're gonna look, and I'm like, bro, if an artist gets to get this now, we don't need a lot of us trying to tap into. Let me give you an example. The Billboard allows you to get these things, but those streams and those unit sales have to come from the United States. So if we're going to take our musicians and want them to go global, they have to tap into that system. Look at what happened to Bad Bunny during the Super Bowl. He's a big artist, but there's a lot of resistance. A lot of these systems that we are trying to follow are westernized, and they are in favor of their industry. We need to create what is in favor of our industry. That is what we're going to introduce, because it's data driven. Mi sidhani kwa best yako ati ndo nikwambia umeenda triple platinum. Why do you think artists wanagonganio kiburi? They're like, bro, my record went, bro, I'm yay, bro. Yay, ameweza kupull off your stream juu. Bro, the data that this man can pull and the information that he can pull is so immense that you can't just stop him from creating. He's becoming a more powerful because he understands that there is no limitation. Ezeke Mutua anaban muziki, yet Constitution ya Kenya, Article 33(1)B says that every person has the right to freedom of expression, including the right to artistic creativity. You can't limit art. You can't come and say, no, yours is, no, my friend. If I want to stand in front of and do whatever I want to do within my art, it's art. That's why Ye can even say he's God, bro. Within the confinements of art. Our artists are super good. To the point that tukitoa hii kitu mtashangaa sana wasanii wakinua mayat. Cause hatukuna kubanja, bro. Ngomangu si imecheza hivi na hivi na hivi. Those stakeholders, I have the entire thing figured out. The stakeholders are not so many. MCSK should not just be members of just the musicians, even the beneficiaries, the stakeholders, media stations, DJs. And something that I'm going to talk about while I finish this, the issues within the Kenyan CMOs. In Kenya, collective management organizations such as Music Copyright Society of Kenya, Kenya Association of Music Producers and Performance Rights Society of Kenya, faces deep structure and operational challenges. Key issues: lack of transparency and accountability. The fact that they're even fighting among themselves is a key red flag. Low and delayed royalty payments to an artist. The 3,000 that they send is per year, my guy. The rest that they give to their artists is their artists who know how they get the money. That is not something that should be happening behind closed doors. Poor data and metadata management systems. Tuambieni tu Isa royalties zake ni ngapi. Isa is a platinum record artist. He should be able to earn from those music forever. Even when music evolves, why do you think the record labels have perpetuity? If any form of technology comes, boom, they adjust. When UMG pulled out their music from Spotify, from TikTok, that was in an instance because they control where their music goes. It's a freaking software. Right now, the company is being sold for close to 64 billion. Where do you think the billions are coming from? It's the value of the data. Look at the billionaires that we're having in the industry right now in the world. They are data-driven. Data is the number one source of income for all billionaires now. But some of them are cashing out. The Spotify that we like is investing in drone weapons. People are cashing out. Others are evolving. But as Kenyans, tunafaitia royalties. Tuna sound watu huko sijui country gani huko yenye wanafaitianga vitu mpaka unashindwa aje sasa. Hivyo ndo tunakaa sasa. Na wasanii wetu wanoma. We need to put our differences aside. Fragmented systems causing licensing confusion. Utalipa nani? Club owners analipa nani? Kuna ya camp, kuna writers, kuna producers. But bro, it's the same music. Msanii enda register huku collect huku. Yeah, divide and rule. We need a commission of inquiry. Limited adaptation to digital and streaming environments. To this day, to be a member of MCSK lazima upeleke CD. Imagine 2026 tuko na shida za tunapeleka hivi nimetoa ngoma. Wasanii kasi sisi tunatoa ngoma daily. We have the capability. I'm producing my entire songs and I'm not this is not even a superpower. There's so many people who do that. It's just that I'm building my own control. I told you the most important thing is that control of the product. You're a machine. So how are you creating the music? You're in control of that. You hold your master rights. Your ability, your master ya mwisho, ting! Ndo niweze kucreate. China niekele verse, afanye nini. It's not easy. Loss of local and international revenue due to poor tracking. 3,000. Now wana collect. Umeonapo picha wamepost ni events. Do they do artist development? Is there any medical cover? Let me tell you something. Say huwezi amka useme utafungua hospitali. You'll have to have a license, you have to be trained, but you can wake up right now and start a record label. Fungua tu equipment, weka tu kwa room fulani hivi. Kaenda in wasanii wakuje. Wa sort hapo venye wana patch or create. Because you see, our artists, one of our biggest mistakes is that crab mentality. And it comes down from the beginning. Hapa. That us versus them. The rich versus the poor. Kuna kuangako ka discrimination fulani based on classism. Ukiambia sasa wasanii wa push ngoma za Afrika, hapa za Kenya utasikia wasanii wanaimba kilami. Pia mimi ni mmoja wao. Naimbanga kilami. Kwa sababu kuna narrative tunakuanga nayo. Hatujui kuwa proud of ourselves. No. The ecosystem of the sound creative industry, 26 and the beyond. The modern music industry is no longer just about recording and distributing songs. It's driven by data. Every stream, every radio play, DJ set, social media interaction generates information that determines how music is valued, discovered, and monetized. Today, the data powers algorithm, royalties, marketing, and artist growth, making it the foundation for global music ecosystem. However, the traditional system based on physical sales, limited distribution, and manual tracking can no longer support this new reality. Music is now consumed everywhere across multiple platforms such as at the same time, but many systems managing it still outdated and ineffective. Insufficient. What is the call to action? We need a full financial audit of account of all royalty collected on behalf of musicians. Tangu iyo mwaka mulianza, umerokota pesa ngapi? I mean, every song there has that code. Every song can be tracked. Radio station, media station, zote mulicheza mara ngapi? So una mna collect huko, how did you distribute it? How did you collect? At hizo pesa mulizi divide based on which math? We need that. Your commission of inquiry needs to have a psychiatrist. Someone's gonna just body read too. Whenever ametudanganya, KRA. Show us how you tax this. Review of the governance and leadership structure to restore accountability. The music has evolved too fast to ensure that our size is handled. If I want to clear my sample sounds recording, I have sample packs. I want to earn from that. There's a token system within music system. How are we going to get to those levels if royalties imetushinda? Hapo kuna ka fraud, bro. A clear and undefined licensing framework which protects a clear and unified licensing framework that protects musicians and simplifies compliance for venues. Venues should be members of MCSK because the same artists are going to come and perform there. I have a very brilliant way of doing this. Na nitaongelea tu vitu mbili tu because I'm not the only one and I have to protect my ideas as well. The process must be public and live streamed, allow musicians and the public to follow proceedings and rebuild trust in the system meant to protect our rights. 1 million signatures. Ndo msiseme ni mimi nimeanzisha hiki tu peke yangu. The link is going to be in the description. I'm going to have this document available. New Africa is a non-profit organization. One of the mistakes I did nikianzisha kitu 2020, nilikuwa nafanya kila kitu cause, you know, ukiwa na idea ukuangi na your confidence. But we can accept donations. You know, nilikuwa nalipa rent, nalipa utilities, najaribu kufanya kila kitu nini, ndo dream iweze kusimama. Na a lot of the times, si kila mtu oneo vision yako. Now, one of the reasons was that we never used to tell people you can do donations. So do donations when you download this PDF, because this PDF is going to be available. You can go through it. The link is there. We are trying to raise 1 million signatures for the investigation, disbandment, and replacement of Kenyan CMOs. Asisi kuwa mingi hivyo, nafaa kuwa moja. Yenye ni digital. That is like boom. Tuangoma, kakang, inasainiwa, ahang, inaingia kwa system radio, ahang, all DJs, umecheza ngani. Yani it is automated. Wacha na yasa tikanobi ya conveyor belt. Bro, Spotify tells you how much you're paying. Terms and nini, conditions zinakuanga zinasema venye utalipwa. We are based of this region, kang, science. Yeye anataka tu operate na hiyo board yake. Ndio waende wapange venye watapanga. The decision makers, the office of the president, Minister of Gender, Culture and Arts and Heritage, Kekobo already wali revoke your license. Ongera kwenyu, msiwapatie tena na mwende mrevoke za wale wengine wote. Until we have a public commission of inquiry, Kekobo needs to be there. The Minister of Gender has to be there. Office of the president has to be represented. And above all watu wote, the people of Kenya. Hiyo email yako inaweza saidia. Office of the president, role in the music industry. Office of the president is the highest executive and authority of the country, responsible for policy direction, national strategy, and oversight of government institutions. In relation to the music industry, it plays a key role in setting national priorities for the creative economy, supporting policies that protect art, culture, and innovation, ensuring coordinations between ministries and regulators like Kenya Copyright Board, driving reforms to improve transparency, governance, and economy. Mr. President, huwezi niambia hizo amounts zimetajwa hapo. They are not amounts. And there is so much that is happening, but this has happened for too long. If we want to make our music powerful, because that's what matters to me, hawa watu nimewaweka hapo. And one of the two ideas that I had was we have to take back a few institutions. Because you see, that's why nilikuwa nasema, Mziki Mutu is not a musician. He does not think like a musician. He alisema so that our organization is profitable. Yet it is a non-profit organization. Him is thinking like an economist. He is not an artist. Aizi imba bro. Ule jamaa ajui side chaining ni nini. And I feel for you to be a coach of football or a coach of boxing, you must have boxed or played football at some point. Mziki Mutu has never been in the music industry. He doesn't understand the need for an artist to perform. And that's why we're taking back, give them back to the artist. Cultural heritage. There are two types of cultural heritage. There is the intangible. Songs, folk songs, things that we used to hear as stories. And I'm telling you, ngoma za kina Nameless Zaisa, those are now our folk songs. Tukimba boom, boom, ba. Boom, 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 ba. Yeah. That is a sound recording. That's intangible. At the same time, it's tangible. Nairobi Cinema is a cinema hall. Kenya Cinema, Odeon. Kenya Cinema, ingine gani. And there's so much. There is also so much more. There's Machakos Kailas. There's one in Nakuru. There's one in Mombasa. All these places should become back, retrieved back. Let them be refurbished. I'm 100% sure, and this is something I can ask the president if I ever meet him, because I had the artists were in the State House, and I never get invited for those things. So it is what it is. But I'm making this video, and I'm talking to the president here directly. I am 100% sure at some point in your life, you took your lovely wife to a movie, to watch a movie, man. People have gone to these places for dates. That is a cultural heritage that is disappearing. Those places are not originally made for the church. Those ones are cinema halls. There are so many movies that Kenyans are making. Let them, these halls can be converted to so many things. We can monitor the sales. We are monitoring data and creating opportunities. You see, New Africa is now uniting Africa, creating a platform where they can engage with each other and generate money. These avenues should be rotating. Sound recording is beyond music. There's stand-up comedy. There's theater. Nafaa nikitoka Kenya Cinema next week, audience wako na nini? Pale ile church pale ingine. Pale nitwangwaje? Wenye kuna nuru gizani. That is a theater hall. All of them zikuchukuliwe. Showmax haifai kwa hata inafunga. Showmax will just take Nairobi Cinema and rebrand it. And then let them generate money from there. Let them put their music there, their cinema there. Let there be shows Monday to Monday kama zinabo. Specifically just for Kenyan cultural heritage, nothing else. It is almost impossible, but guys, it is possible because I'm no longer afraid. And as Kenyans, we should no longer be afraid of our ideas. Easy vitus data. Yes, Kenya Cinema is not the only one. Panye KNT National Theatre, one moja tu. And those ones are limited. You cannot do certain themes within those confinements. Hizi vitu zinafaa kuwa zimerudishwa back to the government. Wasanii wanafaa kuwa wanapiga ngoma huko back to back. Let them generate more data that will give them more money because people are gonna pay. Music is going a whole 360. Guys are now buying tapes and now CDs because subscription is not ownership. People are now realizing, oh shit, if I don't pay for my Spotify, all those songs I've listened to, but I still have data that is in physical. I still have this Michael Jackson CD that I can show my son and be like, check Michael Jackson, bro. And now there's a movie coming. You think that guy is not generating money? My friend, this is data. Forget about seeing it as art. See it as data. And this is the most important thing as a creative. You're a Kenyan. Listen to this very carefully. You should have total commitment and total emotion to the creation of your art and total disconnection to the release. Wasanii wengi kitu inatusumbuanga tukosoa touch na art yetu design. We emotions zimecapture mpaka ngoma ikijaribu kwenda hivi unataka iende hivi, unataka iende hivi. Emotions zimekuingia mpaka sasa umeanza umecatch tu vitu ziende venye unataka. Gatekeepers, this triangle that I talked about, all these people in the middle between the people. These people between the people. The people versus the artist. The people they're listening to it streaming nini. Hawajui hizo muziki zinafika hapo aje. Artist has to go through gatekeepers. Has to go through people who are thinking they're the ones that ndio tutakuweka hapo. That guy said the board decides on how you deciding, bro. It's data, bro. If I've sold this number of records, boom, I've sold this number of records, bro. And we can learn from these systems and improve on our own system. And now the last thing, because we have the data. These are the two things I wanted to talk about, or rather the three. The repossession of these institutions, all theater halls or cinema halls should come back. That's cultural heritage that is disappearing over there. But we have to handle tunaenda pole pole, MCSK ndo tunaanza now. Mganya. This is something that I find very interesting and when I was even doing it, I was like, damn, that's a brilliant idea. A lot of our music is offline, guys. When you go for radio, the DJ is on the side, ametoa ngoma zake kwenye ametoa kwa hard drive. Akicheza, you have no way of monitoring how many times that song has played, which song has played. So does that song get its royalties? That's a question we need to answer. But guess what? What if we could track that data? What if we could track the data from all radio stations, plays? Let's go back to how we experience music. How do we experience this music? Music is everywhere. Let's track all this data. It's convenient, bro. It should even be AI enabled. Wasikia ngoma yangu imechezwa Kisumu leo jo. Imeingiza 10 bob. And he says it's impossible. It's possible. There is technology, my friend. There are brilliant minds in this country. I'm one of them. And I have a team of people who we are trying to bring, because your royalties hapo tu ni normal, because kuna watu lazima waingie on board. CCK has to be there. There are so many institutions that have to be part of the new organization that is going to replace that, because MCSK haiwezi. Like, let's not, like 1 million signatures, wasanii wote Kenya to put our differences nje na waomba. So mimi najua, mimi ni msanii najuanga. Ndio umehit, but tuna rely on apps, bro. siku moja YouTube ikuje ifungike. If you win a Grammy in the 80s, it's a Grammy, bro. If you went platinum in 80s, you went platinum, bro. It's standardized. We need to bring the record business in the music industry, bro. And how are we gonna monetize? Hizi ma institutions zimerudi. Wasanii watakuwa wanapiga sherehe huku, wanapiga mashow huku. Hizi ni za wasanii, bro. Pale Kales Machakos, artists wa Ukambani will be like, bomb. We have Nani performing on Tuesday. These things are automated. The culture will grow, bro. Culture will grow. Let's take the power back to the artists and the people. Sasa hapa katikati, bro. Issue inakujanga sana kwa sababu ya wivu ya talent. Hakunanga kitu mbaya kama wivu ya talent kwa Kenya. Kwa sababu hiyo ndo mkoloni aliweka kwa brain. You are better than everyone else. That's why you have gotten this. So attitude ya inaingia natural. Na hiyo conveyor belt inaendelea kutumika. Being signed, it's like having a girlfriend who goes out with other people but still tells you you're the girlfriend. It's about performance. So Mbamba, guess what? Akona ma boyfriend wangine 1,000. Universal Music imekuja Kenya. BMR imekuja Kenya. I saw it from the visit ya juzi ya the president was in contracts and stuff like that. Follow the data, follow the music. Every song there has a code. Talking about the Mganya Awards, if we can tally or track the performance of every song being played on every matatu, we can have a Mganya Top 100. Sounds of the streets. Data-driven analytics. When a song goes platinum, this data can be used. The song, the spins from the radio, streaming. Now, you're taking the music business, na hii kitu yote mmekuwa mkifanya ya ma Spotify, na ma YouTube, na hizo namba zenyu zote, mmeongeza sasa na... Because you see, we're not trying to follow that system, we're trying to learn from that system and implement it within our system. The Mganya Awards, music classification. These are the two things that New Africa is going to be doing. We're going to be doing charts, and we're going to be doing music classification. Based off data. We do not want an opinion. I mean, I feel. How many, what is our unit cell? If your song gets played on radio, streaming, matatu, everywhere we can track your song kitu inafanya and we can quantize it to what is our one record sale. And then guess what? Divide these record sales into platinum, gold, silver. We even have new ones that have introduced. We also have another one called wood. The ones that have sold nothing. 2 times wood. You get me? But I'm an artist, so I'm passionate about it. But I've told you the most important thing is the creation. Be totally submerged in it, emotionally committed to it. But ikifika time ya kuuza mse, toa feelings, bro. Kwa sababu uchuzingi nani ataingia kwa duka yako kununua. Wewe seti, watu wakipendezwa watanunua waende, wewe upate pesa zako. Mziki wetu pale kwa kurelease ndo tukua emotional sana. Ndo wanapatanga record labels na kuja zinakosana na wasanii. Emotions mingi. Tuweke emotions zetu kando, to build this system. Mimi na hii plan na najua watu wengi wako na ideas kadhaa. Hii kitu si ati mimi nimesema 1 million, sijasema mimi na mabese zangu. Wasanii wako na billions of views, Let's raise 1 million signatures. Hiyo kitu ikuwe disband, ikuwe replaced na ikuwe investigated. Hizo ndo ni mingi sana. Let us come up with our own system of charts. Ukitoa ngoma yako hivi hakuna sijui nani akaongelelea wapi, sijui akafanya nini. Gatekeeping in Kenya is woo. Una watu wamekufa kitu fulani hivi unashindwa mazee, unadhani tutakuatikio kitu kidedi. But because of your jealousy, unataka hiyo glory ya msanii. Haiwezi. It is ordained by God. God will pay us talent, bro. This system, penye tumefika sahi, we already have the formula to calculate it. We just need the data. Na hiyo MCSK kabla tuendelee nao, si tuna proceed na hizi mbili za zingiani na MCSK, but we need replacement ya hizo vitu. And this is something about me because the document itakuwa circulated. This is just a breakdown of me. Kenya mimi ni nani na vitu kama hizo, mimi ni msanii na vitu kama hizo. And the link is there. Sign that petition, guys. I'm going to talk to specific watu najua wako committed so much into hii kitu ya arts. Eric Omondi. My brother from another mother. You are a creative. Niambie kama hii si plan ya maana. Calligraph Jones, Sauti Sol. Sauti Sol is a diamond record. Hiyo ngoma zilienda diamond wapi? Sura yako mzuri mama went diamond in East Africa. That data. Come on, man. Au need kwenda sasa kuchukua data uipeleke huko majuu ende huko. Huku kwetu now we will no longer be pushing an individual but we will be pushing an industry. Ati ndo mnoma. So akikuwa mnoma wengine wote tulieni, tuliwaambia ndo msanii na Jody DJ Nairobi tulia nani ashatupel azi. You don't know, you can't control it. Inafaa kuwa hivi. Turn over. Look at Afrobeats. Afrobeats stopped being about the four artists. It's now about a sound and industry. Parks, sample clearing, synchronization. How many movies do you think are coming out of Nigeria now with their music? Like, avenues asanii hapa hazijabadilika. Music is one of the most powerful ways of making money because an artist should be monetized in everything that they do. That's why unaonanga, and to finish up, and the reason why we have to put the Mganya charts there, that's why nimeona nipe an example, is because easy avenues are sani. This document is going to be available, don't worry. Utapata give a small donation, unaipata, tumatuka donation kidogo, because we need to raise money to continue this vision, and New Africa has to come to fruition. And we have the rubber has to hit the road. Streaming royalties, hizo hazibadiliki. Mechanical royalties, hizo hatujaipata. Performance royalties, hizo mambo za BMI, huko maglobo nini. So, BMI will give a shit about our music because now we're not just bringing one artist. We're bringing a whole database. Digital performance. Do you know, free to air ni ngapi mzee? Hizo, CCK ukikuuliza the number of registered televisions, you'll be surprised. In Africa, goddamn. Synchronization. We can earn a lot from that. Neighboring royalties. As we are busy fixing our Kenyan music industry, how are we relating with the neighboring rights of music that is being played globally? Print royalties, music schools. Think of Yamaha. Think of now African music global, my friend. Hii kitu imeenda for too long, guys. Nimeresearch hii kitu, I've dedicated my life, bro. Me, I went to law school, nikatoka law school, nikakuwa msanii. Like, hii ni nyumba yangu, my guy. We're doing this right now. In our house, in my house, the musical house. This is New Africa. The dream that I had in 2020, and I still have that dream. And I had a vision board. And this was one of the things I wanted to eventually do. Hatunid kwa kila kitu ni ubeste. A data driven. Guys, please sign that petition. 1 million. Larry Mado, nipatie interview. Obina, nipatie interview. People who believe and who have committed, they are purists. Mimi najua say purist. Sabato sauti ya ground. Niambie kama MCSK muifanya. What's your opinion on this thing? Unajua kabisa kuna kitu wase wamekuwa kifanya. Lakini tumenyamaza. Calligraph John tunafaa tukule ngori tuende huko na ubaya. There's a video, in fact. Let me just play that song. So tumerifaa wasanii wa kitambo. There's a video tulipata Nikita Kering. Where was it? There's a video I found for Nikita Kering. Yeah, she was talking about MCSK. That's the last one we're going to be talking about. Yes, this young girl is very brave. This is African Union.
So I think that it's time for the African Union to really join in on that conversation and see.
This is a crisis, guys.
You know, we're barely earning from these CMOs, what we call Music Corporate Society of Kenya. We have PRISC, ETC. We're not earning from those platforms. We're actually earning from, platforms abroad, royalty systems abroad.
Systems abroad. Ndio maana unaona wasanii wanataka kwenda hiyo kitu sana. And there's something someone told me kwa stream yangu once, and inaniumanga kichwa. The colonial power is very heavy. The mindset of lazima Mwafrika asaidiwe na mzungu ndo apatch. Wasanii wengi wameenda hiyo route na it's okay. It is what it is. Sometimes it's human beings, because I've met like legit foreigners who are legit nice people who are committed. And if you can partner with an African and push it for sawa. But sisi wenyewe hatuna solutions zetu. We can't build our own systems. This young girl is very brave. Kwa wasanii wote wameongea, mimi sijaona msanii modern. This is a Gen Z. She can't be going. Yani mimi niliingia 2015 na hiyo ngoma moja, they call me sugar, they call me daddy. And this is in my blood. I still make music and I'll forever make. I'm not part of this industry because what industry is there? MCSK ina collect nini? Distribution yenye inalipa 0.000, tena issues za YouTube zinakuja tena region, yet we have an organization that can negotiate for better terms. Hakuna. Wase to sign your petition. Skill mdem.
So I think that it's time for the African Union to really join in on that conversation and see.
African Union walifanya nini? That's why nakwambia guys, kuna video nyingine pia ya ule mama. Where is that lady who was saying that everywhere they go? Last video, please. This has taken a bit longer, but sometimes inanijamishanga, bro. Like, I have a son, man. One day, I will not be there. What will happen, bro? Unile video ya tukiandika tu MCSK, ile video ule mama. There's a video of some lady. Kiddies, musicians are pro against MCSK. This is imekuwa forever, mzee. So mention is not Elani pia they had issues. I mean, don't you think this deserves? There's a video where they talk about, sorry I can't find it, but there's a lady where they talk about their safety. They talk about everywhere they go that it is impossible for Kothe ni mtu aogopangi kuongea. Kothe MCSK mwetusaidia kweli, surely you are like our mother. Now you can speak your mind. Imwetusaidia vipi? We need data driven, bro. So that lady was talking about everywhere they go, wanapata kindu kime. So hii PDF ukiklik mwisho kabisa kuna pali nasema link. Let me just go that now there. So we're launching it right now. Just me and my friends. 5 people. No, these are 5 powerful people. But we're going to launch this. This is the petition, guys. Disbandment, replacement and investigation. Sitaki kitu ikuwe tena ni mimi na mabese zangu. Tunataka kitu peupe. Kwa sababu hiyo do ni mob. Go read it. This is how you vote. Verify. Sign the petition. Let's say, because I've already done it. Let me see if I can do it. My name is Benjamin. I think I already did it, but let me see if I can use. I'd saved an email. Let me use my. I think I already voted. Tell me more if this petition wins. How can I help? That's good. So there's change.org. They deal with a lot of petitions. Do not display my name or comment on the petition. You can choose that or not. Let's just say you want to do so. Naona kwamba si lazima hata ukuwe beste yangu. Like mi kwanza nikianza kuona watu wana move na hiyo kitu ya tena tujuane nini, because that brings a lot of issues, man. Like an artist should just remain in the creative industry, creative space. Like me, I love being in the studio. After up and down the beat, no nisikie hiyo 1 hour ama 2 hours in time nimespend nimecreate kitu. But I feel I have spoken my mind, and this is something that nilienda mpaka huko mlimani just to think about it and to be like, pray about it. I'm like, you know what, Sarah, just do it, my G. Like, just do it. Sign the petition. So, I think it, Benjamin, your support is not complete. Can you chip in order to get the petition on the agenda? So if you want to do this, so them wako na donations zao, sisi tuko na zetu. Yetu ni, this is for that NGO. Yetu, if you want to support New Africa, we have a till number. It's 5539-205 till number. Send in any amount that you can send for New Africa. We're planning to do a lot with New Africa and Azima mzee. What we find. So where were we? We're in the petition. Where did it go to? I think it said my petition wasn't ready. Let me see. There's that tab. Where did it go? Oh, it's here. So so you can donate if you want to donate to them, but if you want to donate to us, that's the way. So now I need to go to my email. Complete. Share this. So you can share this to your friends. Work on our way of making this. So you can copy the link, share it to your friends. Let's say now we go to there are more petitions here. Watu wengi wameraise vitu huku. So now you go to your email. Let me see if I can open the email here. This email is like my different email. but let me see if I can. Let me see if I could. Let me use my. They'll send an INI. I think I haven't logged in. This is my studio. My studio machine. I have a different machine that has my personal. Data is everything, bro. Who take care of it. So if your emails and stuff like that. So once you go to your email, and go to that specific email. Yeah. They send the email. Need to check. Spam. No. I think I already. That's the thing. You can't. Can you use different emails? Let me use an email that I haven't. Me mwenyewe nimevote hapo. I have to vote so that I can show people how to vote. Next. So you can see more. I think when you donate, they push the money out there to more things. But let me use an email that I've not used because I need to show you how to sign this petition. How to sign the petition. So once you click on the link, verify email. It will help verify the thing. Let me follow the link on a different phone so that I can be able to finish the niwaoneshe venye. Una need email na hiyo email ikuwe ni hiyo email ikuwe yako, ikuwe email ya ukweli. Because 1 million, that means it's 1 million emails. The decision makers, the ministers, the president. We are doing this so that we can not. The mischief is our watu wa disband. We can have this conversation. Our tulilitaja kina Larimado, Bina, these big platforms. Invite me. Let's talk about this. Sign petition, yep. So my name, let me just use my name. Email sasa ndo nataka nitumie nyingine. Did I ever use this one? Yes. Don't display my name. That's something, if you just want to be anonymous, weka tu hapo mwanangu. Anonymous. So continue. You should come into my email now. There's a way unakutumia email, una verify. Verify. How I use all these emails? You can't vote more than once. Kwambia mtu wangu hapa kuna hizo za. Oh, yeah, let me see. Benjamin. Okay. There's an email they send. Yeah, I think, yeah. Then you confirm. What did you, let me see if I have an email here. I think I had did I use New Africa's email? You can't vote more than once. Damn, do you know that? I need to do it. Let me use New Africa. My God. Let me use New Africa ndio tufunge stream hapo. Use New Africa because the rationale is transparency, my guy. Democracy. Hatuwezi kuwa tuna ongelelei kitu mpaka sai. 2026 bado tuna fight ya royalties. Anyway, use all my emails, guy. Or I can't access that many. Yeah. So when you do that, it usually changes the number there. That's what I want to do. Let me just do it. Should I come down to sign the petition? I wish I had an email that. Let me now go to the New Africa email. Or you can be able to just end that to the stream properly. I think I also used that one, man. Anyway, every time you vote, it tallies. So I mean, I'm the only one who has voted, but you already get the gist. So once you sign in, they'll send you an email. Go into the email, confirm, boom, your vote will count. Get this to 1 million. If you're an artist, tuweke tu difference zetu kando, wendo mnoma, wendo kona views mingi, tumekubali. Lakini hii kitu imeendelea for too long, my end. Tuweke difference zetu kando kama wa Kenya, tafadhali tuhandle kitu. Hizi ni vitu tunafaa kuja ngori mbaya. Faa kuoccupy hizo places mbaya. But anyway, guys, thank you so much when you're a part of this, and the live stream is going to be up. So share it, talk about it. Let's have this conversation live. So kama mnanielewa. Yani hizi conversation tukuwe nazo ile ukweli. Na wenye wanajua information about it, if you have information about it, if you have been given that knowledge, please speak up. Sasa hivi tunafaa tujitume kama ule mzee wa Machakos, Sami Kioko. Tuende mpaka hapo nje tupige manduru mzee. Hao kitu inaendelea for so long mzee. It's almost embarrassing. Kenya hatufai kuwa na hizi shida sasa 2026. Anyway, thank you so much. I go by the name of DJ Nairobi. Thank you so much, and yeah, let's do it. 1 million maze, ndo tumelaunch leo maze. 1 million sasa, acha tuone.